Alright, hey everybody, welcome to part 10 of Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. When we last left off, we defeated Nimifu the Witch, and we just learned how to rescue our frog friend from his curse. So first we're going to rest up, and then we'll go do that. Just a heads up, this episode actually won't do much to progress the story. There's going to be a whole lot of side quests and stuff. We'll get it all wrapped up in this one, and then in the next episode we will be back on track. There is a surprising amount of extra stuff to do right now. But first we're going to go see our friend. I love that poison. Just chilling out. You can have either Cat or Nina kiss him. They'll say different things here, but for the most part, well, for the entire part, the ending is still the same. I love it. Running charge kiss. And now the entire forest is blowing up. That's the power of a kiss. Oh no. Well, we didn't break your curse. Oh wait, you look like this? That's a typo right there. He's actually the Prince of Simafort. Just throwing that out there. Alrighty, we have a new party member, Gene the Frog. So apparently he's still a frog. He always has been, just wasn't a giant frog. Actually getting rid of Sten for a while right now. Gene's able to cross over gaps. I'll show you that later. A lot of people say Gene is one of the weakest characters of the game. And honestly, they're not wrong. Regardless, though, I'm making him one of my final party members, so I'm going to be leveling him up quite a bit as we move on. And first things first, we're actually going to exit out this way to save time for what I have planned. You'll find out in a second as soon as we get out of this forest. What's this place? Oh! Hey, this is looking pretty nice. There's no need for name calling. Jeez, I always like that. Hey, stupid! I did it. So now we have a town to start up. And here's Gene's ability. Rand, if you hit the Y button on the map, he'll transform, but he changes into a giant frog. And you can hop around. So if you position yourself right, you are able to hop right over that gap, and you don't have to worry about taking the ferry anymore. It saves some time, that's all, really. But I'm impatient. And now we're going to collect people for our new town. So you can do what I do if you want. I've kind of pre-planned this on who I want to join my town for some of the best stuff. The people I'm going to invite first are going to be 3 different shop owners, and they'll open up armories that'll have some extra good equipment. In the description I'll provide like a link to a strategy guide. And now, through the magic of editing, we're going to backtrack again. Don't worry, we'll save a lot of time with these edits. The next thing you want to do, you go to Windia, and we gotta make sure it's daytime. I could have planned this a little better, but hey, I didn't, so sorry. Gives us a chance to rest up. Now, if you remember from a couple videos ago, I think I told you to remember this woman. But if not, you're going to find out in about 10 seconds, so don't worry. But we're going back to the weapon shop here in Windia. We're going to pick up Beretta. That's it for Windia. We're just going to take off. Now you may have been worried that we don't have Sten, we can't cross over. But there's no worries because Gene is on top of things. Boing, done. Gene can't jump over gaps like Sten could cross. You'll still need Sten from time to time because you'll occasionally run into those posts indoors, and if you're indoors, Gene cannot transform into a frog. So right now I'm just enjoying all the cliff jumping. And thanks to random battles we can jump all the way to hometown. We're gonna go talk to our old neighbor. Apparently this whole time has not been happy with the lease he's had. Do not like the landlord, so I'm looking for a new one. Sure thing. Alrighty, so right now we only have 3 houses, and we picked our 3 tenants. That's all we can do for now. Now we're gonna go visit our town itself, though. We can check it all out. Again, thanks to a random battle, we're here. So like I said, there's only 3 houses now, but we can expand later. So don't worry, we haven't filled up our entire town yet. And as you can see, this guy is selling some pretty great equipment. And we'll come back and buy some stuff in a minute. And this guy doesn't have too much great. The only thing we really want is that Wonder Rapier, because Gene's starting equipment is awful. And that's the only upgrade you can get right now. So you can look at some of the other armor if you want. Not worth the money right now because you could go next door and buy the flame equipment for just a little bit extra, and it gives you a better defense. And Beretta is unique because her store is terrible, and that's why we wanted her. No, her store will actually improve as the story goes on. So after certain events, we come back here and her inventory is improved. And by the end of the game, she'll be selling some of the greatest stuff you've ever seen. Usually stuff you can only buy there or get lucky and find it in a random battle drop. We're gonna go ahead and trade in our silver dagger for a flame sword, big damage boost, and it also has the flame element, which in some situations it will actually lower our attack power, but for the most part it'll boost it. So if enemies are strong against fire, you'll do about half damage, and if they're weak to fire, you'll do double damage. Ryu's already pretty strong, so even with half damage it won't be too bad, and then the double damage will just be extra amazing. And here we have the restaurant, where you can give these guys items. There's only a few recipes that are worthwhile here. You can actually create a lot of stat boosting items later in the game. So if you're patient enough and talk to them every time and wait for them to cook it, you can have all your stats maxed out in this game. You just gotta let them cook up the power food and luck candy and stuff. And here's another big weird translation. If you say no, you'll actually get the explanation, which is what we want for now. Here's the shamans. that we keep hearing about, and the reason we built this town to start with. So we're gonna combine them with different shamans. Certain characters don't mesh with certain shamans, and also if you have two shamans and one character, if they counteract each other, they usually don't work. So for example, fire and water don't work. And Gene, being a frog, he tends to bond well with the water shaman, does not bond with the fire shaman. Each shaman raises a certain stat when you combine with them. So fire will boost your attack power, and water, I believe, boosts your wisdom. So we're just giving the shaman to who we can. For some reason, Cat cannot bond with a fire shaman. It seems kind of the opposite of what I would have thought, but I guess she's already too good, so they didn't want you to boost her offense anymore. So yeah, if you look at Nina's offense, it was about 66, so she's stronger than Gene already with the fire shaman. And I don't know what Gene's wisdom was beforehand. I should have double-checked that. And I'm also using my luck candy on Gene, as I want to make him lucky. Luck in pretty much all RPGs, it's always a weird stat. For the most part, you can't tell exactly what it does unless you look up a really in-depth strategy guide that tells you how everything's calculated. But I like pumping it up, just to see what happens. Maybe you get more critical hits, maybe you dodge more, maybe you find items. I just figured Gene's already lucky, so we'll keep boosting that up. And then this is just to show off, if you go back to your town, or back to your headquarters, I guess, your party will split up, you can talk to them. Oh, she mentions our father. Maybe. But you can kind of get an idea of what your party members are thinking while you're in the middle of your quests. And they're automatically back with you too, so you don't have to worry about leaving without them. Speaking of leaving, that is the end of our journey to hometown. You thought I was going to say end of the video. Nope, now we'll backtrack all the way back one more time. Oh, and through the power of editing, we are back to Sima Fort. We're going to go back to camp and rest up. But first, let's show off some of our sweet equipment. So this is just to show Nina's boosted attack power. Tried to show off Gene's special ability. And we get to see Ryu's flame sword. For some reason, Pollen is strong against fire, so you get half damage. It's still 80. That's pretty beefy. And here's Gene's special ability. It's called Jab. It's supposed to attack all enemies, but since there's only one enemy, it doesn't really look any different. And here we see Ryu's flame sword against Stamen in a second, who is weak to fire. Boom. Regular attack 154. So he's gonna be cooking them up. Rest up again. This guy always has a warm fire waiting for us. Even with the town, you can't invite him to your town. He's not interested. My life is here with the campfire. But we're still not going to Sima Fort. We are going to meet new enemies here. Catfish, they kind of show up when you're near the river randomly. They show up more to the south, which we'll run into more later. Catfish don't have too much going for them. They have defense up, and I believe that's it. They might be able to cast Earthquake, but I don't think so. And they're weak to thunder. Boom. Tons of damage there. So nothing to worry about. They drop a shaker. That's what makes me think that they do cast Earthquake, because I believe that's what shaker does. You can use it as an item. It's kind of like the fire rock from before. Alright, we're going to change to a frog one more time. I'm going to take a nice dip in the pond. If you go down the waterfall, secret area. Socklet armor is a helmet, and then the kamikaze ball is a... Just like the fire rock, it'll cast Typhoon when you use it, which is even stronger, so it's a good one. And you may recognize this man from Breath of Fire 1 if you played that. This is one of the wise dragon men who teaches you new dragon abilities. And now he has. Acting a little different. They used to be very, very serious people before, but now they've lightened up. And now we have Fire Dragon, Ice Dragon, and Thunder Dragon. And they cost the same amount of AP, so you can guess which spell I'm going to be using. Basically, it's a beefed up version of all the puppies we have. And now we're taking one more side quest, the most dangerous one. We're going to WildCat's Restaurant. So before you go in, you want to make sure you are at full health. Usually I don't use items and I like to use AP, but here is the opposite. We're going to use up all the items that we need first. Equip our new helmet. And that gives Jean a night helmet. A little bit better. But they're very strict about the rules here, and so when he has to check in your items, you better say yes. If you say no, he just won't let you in, so... Here we have our first request. Be polite, take your hat off. There's also our warrior helmet. And the next requests, take off your jacket. As you may have noticed, they're slowly stripping you of equipment, but you can say no, because I would recommend keeping your body armor on. But if you say no, you'll have to fight one of these bouncers. When you're fighting one of these bouncers, they don't have anything going for them, they just have regular attacks. However, since you've been taken off equipment, they do a lot more damage now. And also, as the man at the beginning of the restaurant took all our items, we have no way to heal ourselves except with AP. So we are emptied out. So for now, I'm just going to try to power through them and hopefully just get lucky that we won't attack Ryu again to kill him. Because we want to save all our AP if we're going to save that dragon spell for a certain somebody. So the point of this restaurant is to wear you down. And this is the one, if you say yes to everything else, just definitely say no to that one. If he removes your weapons, you can do pretty much no damage. And you will be in some serious trouble when you're fighting a certain someone at the end of this place. I won't give it away, you'll see it in a couple minutes. Now we're fighting one more bouncer. Same as before, just regular attacks, and yeah, Ryu's not looking too good. Come on, special. 47. For Jean, that's not bad. Keep in mind, he is about 5 levels lower than everyone, too, so... he will get stronger, I promise you. And this one, there's no reason to say no. It does nothing to you. But we are lightly seasoned now. We're ready. How would you like your meat cooked? Usually when I order, I use medium. However, I know what's coming up, so you might want to say rare. Oh, I think we stumbled into the kitchen somewhere. Oh. Ooh, it's getting a little toasty. So right now we are taking a lot of damage, and depending on what you said as far as how you like your meat cooked, take more damage or less damage. So if you say rare, you're taking the least amount. If you say well done, you're going to be burned. Oh wow. In case you didn't see it coming, we are the dinner at WildCat's Restaurant. What a twist. So right away I'm going to have Ryu use his dragon ability. Just cast all your best stuff. Gene pretty much can only attack. He has no items to heal people with, so it's for the best. Chop chop. Dead dead. Not looking good. Yeah, WildCat has 3 abilities, one of which was Chop Chop, you saw. His other one is a regular attack, and his last one and the worst one is called Dice. And even at full health, Dice will one-shot you. I can pretty much guarantee it, unless you've been power leveling. And here we're going to try again. We're actually going to use some strategy here. Cat's gonna dare him. So hopefully she'll take the heat off of Ryu. Heroic sacrifice, thank you, Cat. Victory will be ours, we will avenge. Dragons are awesome, by the way. That was the first time I've used them, so I probably should have told you a little more about them. I'll explain in the description. How about that? I'll throw a thing in the description. And now we're in the restaurant itself. This is a nice looking place. Oh, are we strong? Are we going to get fed now? Now, if you tell him no, it's just maybe hard to do, but he will like you more. If you tell him you're soft-hearted, he'll like you even more. And if you followed enough of the rules, and you didn't break all of them, he will teach you a new trick. And we're going to teach this trick to Gene, which is why we came back here now. You could do this anytime. You could do this before the Witch Tower if you want. But I wanted Gene to learn it, so we needed him. So now Gene knows Chop Chop. That awesome skill that killed one of us. And you'll see that AP cost is 0, so we can use it anytime we want. And this spell is... for now, it's just awesome. Later in the game, it'll lose some of its attack power, but it'll still have... it's very... I'm trying to think of the word. It's a good utility spell. It can take care of certain enemies in one hit. Now we're just going to heal up, even though you don't really need to. If you're worried about random battles mauling you on your way back, you can just turn into a frog and jump in the river. No random battles while you're in the water. It's nice. Once again, he never questions why we're all bloody again. He just, okay, I got a tent ready for you. We'll rest up. Wander in the circles for a little bit to get to one more random battle. So I want to show off Chop Chop, and I'm also going to show you Ryu's Puppies spell, because I don't believe I did that before. The Fire Dragon, well, all the dragon spells will attack all enemies for a big amount of damage, and the Puppy spells, which we start with, will only attack one enemy. So obviously, since they both cost the same amount of AP, which is all that you have, you definitely want to use the dragon every time. There's no reason not to. And there's Chop Chop. Does about 60 to 70 damage every time. It's completely free, and the biggest thing about it is it ignores enemy defense. Also right there to show off that the stone golems, or stone idols, are weak to fire. And so Ryu's Flame Sword is doing a lot of damage. Alrighty, that'll do it for part 10. Like I said, this is kind of a miscellaneous episode, just a lot of lot of loose ends being tied up and whatnot. So, at part 11 coming up, we will go to Simon Fort and continue our journey. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. See ya.